Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is so good to be with all of you this evening as we welcome in Shabbat. We're going to begin our Tot service with a little bimba. So everyone, get your hands together into fists so we can go bim, bam. There we go. Bim, bam, bim. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Now I have to say, I can't hear you and I can't see you, but I know that some of you were not doing your bim bombs, and I definitely did not hear any haze going on in between Shabbat Shalom. So let's try that again. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim. Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. It is always wonderful to gather together, and I can definitely feel your presence. I wish I could see each and every one of you. Wish I could feel your joy and your bounciness and your light coming at me directly from you, but I can feel it coming across the city as we sing and welcome in this first Shabbat of the Torah cycle, Shabbat of Bereshit, the beginning of the first book of Genesis, of the Torah. And we invite in our special guests, our spiritual guests, as well as the ones who are close to us. And even, who might that be? Who might that be? There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she's come to have Shabbat with me. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and he's come to have Shabbat with me. First we light the candles, then we drink the wine, then we eat the challah tastes so fine. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she's come to have Shabbat with me. So, as we're welcoming in our Shabbat dinosaur, our Shabbatosaurus, I need to know who you are bringing in. If you could invite anybody in, I mean, if we can invite in a dinosaur, we can invite in anybody. If you could invite in anybody in the whole wide world, who would you bring in to celebrate Shabbat with you? I love those answers. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she's come to have Shabbat with me. So what's intellectual, physical, spiritual. Then we have to welcome in Shabbat with some blessings. What do we do first? First we light the candles, then we drink the wine, then we eat the challah tastes so fine. Let's practice that again. First we light the candles, then we drink the wine, then we eat the challah. The challah tastes so fine. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door. Knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door. And she's come to have Shabbat. And she's come to have Shabbat. And she's come to have Shabbat with me. To warm up with some songs, but our services also need some time to pray to God, to say to God, you are awesome. We thank you for all of the blessings in our lives. So I'll invite you to stand up if you're not already and get some bouncy knees in there, because this prayer that tells us to praise God also invites us to bow low to God. Recognize that God is more important, more powerful than we are. Rolling into dark and the dark rolling into light. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We ask God to open up our eyes and teach us how to live. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name. We will know if you are still standing, you can have a seat. Today, as I mentioned, or this Shabbat, we are reading the very, very beginning, the very, very first story of the Torah. And this story begins with the very creation of the world. So imagine everything is a gigantic mess. A gigantic mess. You've got light mixing with dark, and you've got water and land all intertwined, and you've got all sorts of molecules and atoms and everything just sort of combining and swirling and making a mess out of everything. What are you going to do with that? Well, so our Torah says that God started to organize. So imagine your room is a mess. How are you going to start to organize? Well, first, God decides to start to organize by turning on the light. God says, let there be light, and there was light, and God separates the light. Everyone should do your light for me. The light from the darkness. Everyone, let's see your darkness. So God separates the light from the darkness and creates the first day. Just that first step, light and dark, just so that you can see something that comes up, something that goes down, something, just everything, light and dark on that first day. On the second day, God starts to separate some things. So first, we've got all of our water covering everything below us. And then we need to put some stuff way up there. So if we've got stuff below us, water below us, what's going to go up at the top? Sky. So on the second day, God creates the water below, or the water below. Pick your hand motion, and the water above, the sky. So what's the water below? The water below is going to become sea. Now, let's review before we go on to day 3. On the first day, God creates light and dark. On the second day, God creates the water below and the waters above, the sea and the sky. And on the third day, God takes that water that's below and starts to gather it together. And in gathering all of the waters together, dry land starts to appear. So now we've got our seas and our oceans, and we've got dry land. And on top of the dry land, what do you think starts to come up? Yeah, we get little grasses and flowers and trees. So on day 3, God creates the seas and the oceans, the dry land, and the grasses and trees and plants. So let's review. Day 1 is light and dark. Day 2 is waters below and waters above. Day 3 is our waters and land and grasses and plants and trees. On day 4, the 4th day, God creates the sun, the moon, and all of the stars. The sun, the moon, and all of the stars. And what do we see during the day? We see the sun during the day, the big giant light to brighten our days, and the little light to brighten our nights, and then all of the stars. So that was day 4. On the first day, who can remind me? On the first day, God created the light and the dark. On the second day, God created the waters below and the waters above, or the sea, the water and the sky. On the third day, God gathered the waters and made seas and oceans and made dry land where the plants and trees and grasses can grow. And on the fourth day, God created the sun for the day, and the moon and the stars at night. On the fifth day, the Torah tells us that God created the birds of the air and the fishes of the sea. So all sorts of different birds. Let's see you flap your wings. Let's hear you chirp like birds or caw like a crow. Caw-caw! And all of the fishes in the sea. Or you could be a whale, which I know is not a fish, or you could be a dolphin or a shark. All of the sea creatures were made on the fifth day, along with all of the birds of the sky. So let's review again. I know, hopefully now you remember the first four at least. We have the light and dark on the first day, and the waters below and the sky above on the second day, and the seas and oceans, the dry land, and the grasses and trees and plants on the third day, and the sun, the moon, and the stars on the fourth day, and the birds of the air and the fish of the sea on the fifth day. So what's left? On the sixth day, the Torah tells us that God created all of the different land animals and creepy crawlies and other things that crawl on the land, that swarm upon the earth. So what does that mean? That means we've got our lions and tigers and bears, oh my. That means we've got our elephants and our dogs and our cats and our bunny rabbits and our iguanas and our chameleons and also our insects and bugs of all sorts, our worms and our slugs and our mosquitoes, our flies, dragonflies, ladybugs. All of that was created on the sixth day. Let me hear you make the sound of your favorite animal. Anyone know what my favorite animal is? Yeah, it's a cow. I have lots of cow stuff. So God creates all of these different animals, and also at the very end of the sixth day, Torah tells us that God created humans just like us. And not only were we created as the last thing on the sixth day, but we were created in the image of God, that something about us is similar to God. Maybe not in terms of our bodies, the physical characteristics, but who we are inside is something like God. So let's review our days. On day one, God creates the light and the dark. On day two, God creates the water below and the sky above. On day three, God creates the seas and oceans, the dry land, and the grasses and trees and plants. On the fourth day, God creates the sun, the moon, and the stars. On the fifth day, God creates the fishes of the sea and the birdies of the air. And on the sixth day, all of the different animals, including people. How long is a week? A week is 7 days. So on that seventh day, God creates the first thing that is really nothing. God creates rest, Shabbat, this special time when we get to just be and celebrate all of the beauty of the world around us, and also relax, taking time to stop all of the work of the week and just rest. So I invite you to take some time to rest this Shabbat Maybe give your families some time to rest this Shabbat. And we're going to sing a few more songs. This one is another song to remind us of the rituals that we do to start Shabbat with our candles, with our wine, and with our challah. We'll practice the blessings so that when you go to your tables to begin Shabbat, you have the blessings fresh in your head. Okay, here we go. This is a repeat after me song, so you are going to repeat these words after me. We sing Shabbat, we sing Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. We sing Shabbat, we sing Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. So what do we do first? To welcome in Shabbat, we light our candles, and the blessing for the candles is Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. Here we go. Lehavli ner shel Shabbat. We bless the Sabbath light. Your turn. Lehavli ner shel Shabbat. We bless the Sabbath light. We sing Shabbat. We sing Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We sing Shabbat. We sing Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. After we light the candles, what do? We drink the wine, and we say Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We bless the Sabbath wine. We bless the Sabbath wine. We sing Shabbat. We sing Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We sing Shabbat. We sing Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. After we light the candles and drink our wine or grape juice, we take out our challah, we uncover our challah or our bread or whatever else we're eating, and say Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We bless the Sabbath bread. We bless the Sabbath bread. We sing Shabbat. We sing Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We sing Shabbat. We sing Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. As we reach the end of our service, we go back to the words we started with, Bimban and Shabbat Shalom. I hope that everyone has a peaceful, a warm, a healthy, safe Shabbat, one of rest and one of joy. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again on the third Friday of November. And hopefully I'll see you online for something before that